Welcome back, guys. In this section we are going to work on the authentication APIs in the backend. So we already know that authentication screens are ready in the front end, so we are just waiting for the backend APIs to be ready, so then we can wrap up the authentication scenarios. Okay, so in this section we are going to build the models as well as the APIs which are required for the authentication. So let me close this out. First, I am going to create a new folder in the server called as the models. Okay, then let me create routes. That's all. Go to the models and create our first model, obviously user model.js. Okay, so very simple model. We already know what are the fields for the user model. Const mongoose is equal to require mongoose, const user schema is equal to new mongoose.schema. You will be having the name, type string, require true, email, type string, require true, password, type string, require true. What else we need? That's all, I think. Close these out and have the timestamps. Perfect. Now const user is equal to mongoose.model users, then module.exports is equal to user. So we are exporting this model, so we can do all the CRUD operations with the help of this model using the mongoose. Okay, so in the next lecture we are going to start the CRUD operations for the user. So CRUD operations in the sense both login and registration only. Don't think create, edit, delete, update and all those stuff. So only login and registration. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. In this lecture we are going to work on the registration API endpoint. So let me go to the VS Code. So here you can see in the server only we have this routes folder. So if you don't have the route folders, please create it. And in this routes folder, I'm going to create our first route, which will be handling with the users. So I'm just naming it as users route.js. Okay. So in this users route, we are going to write all the API endpoints which are related to the user module. So to write any endpoint, first we need the router. Const router is equal to require express router. Then to perform the operations we need the model. Const user is equal to require model / user model. That's all. Now we can start writing the API. So I'm just writing the comment new user registration. Okay, so only the registration endpoint I am going to explain each and every line. So other than this, I'll be little bit fast in all the APIs because this is the first API. So you have to follow the same structure for every endpoint, like taking the request object, sending the response object and all the stuff. Okay, so first router.post, the endpoint name will be register. Always the callback function will be async. Okay, let's close this out. So this is the HTTP method, whether post or get, all this stuff. And always in the asynchronous block, put the try catch function. Okay, try catch. And we will be handling the response with simple structure. Response dot send. Always send an object with a flag success. False, because we are in the cache block, and message is equal to error.message. Even for the success responses also same. Success is equal to true, message is equal to message, and if you are sending any data, data prop. That's all. So the same structure you have to follow across all the endpoints. Okay. Now in the try block we'll be having 3 parts for the user registration. So the first part will be check if user already exists. How you are going to check? With the help of email. So I'm just writing const user is equal to await user dot find with email. Okay, email is equal to request dot body dot email. Now we need to check if the user exists or not. So find one, let's use find one method. So you are going to get only one. So if user, I am going to return. So it is not going to execute the logic outside of the if statement. Return response.send success false. Message, we already know what will be the message. User already exists. Close these out. That's all. Okay. So if the user is already exists, we are going to send the error. Now create new user. Okay, so if you don't want all this return and all the stuff, just you can write one more simple thing, throw new error, user already exists. So it will go to the catch block. Obviously the catch block will return the response. Okay, this is also very simple. Let's use this structure, so it will be somewhat less code. And the next thing will be hashing the password. Okay, so the first part will be checking if the user is already exist. Second part will be if the user does not exist, hash the password. So I am just importing the const bcrypt is equal to require bcrypt.js. So to hash the password, first we need to generate the salt. Okay, hash password const salt is equal to await bcrypt dot generate salt method. So this 10 will be number of rounds. Okay, generate salt, here you can see params rounds, number of rounds. Now we need to hash the password. Const hashed password is equal to await bcrypt dot hash. So the first parameter will be the plain text that you want to encrypt, and the second parameter will be the salt object, and this is the salt object. Now you need to attach this hashed password to the request dot body dot password. Okay, request dot body dot password is equal to hashed password. That's all. So the password hashing is also done. Now we are left with the last step, create a new user or else save user. Const new user is equal to new user of request body await new user dot save. Now send the success response. Done. Okay, so this is our first API endpoint registration. So looks very clean, right? So always use the try catch block in any endpoint. So if any error goes, write a throw statement like this. That means if you want to send any success false, so always try to send only success true in the try block. So whatever the negative path, that means negative scenarios, use the throw new error keyword. So obviously it will go to the catch block with the success false message. Okay, so this is the structure. So in the next lecture we are going to work on the login endpoint. Thank you. Welcome back, guys. In the last lecture we have completed the registration endpoint. Now in this lecture we are going to work on the login. Okay, so let's come to the user login. Even in the login also there will be three parts. First step will be check whether the user is exist or not. So if the user does not even exist, throw the response like user does not exist. Second step will be obviously comparing the hashed password and plain password. If that is the success, then send the success response to the client. Okay, so router.post login. So obviously first I will write the try catch block. Try catch block. So in the catch block I will throw the error. That means response.send success false message error message. Done. Now let's come to the try block. Write the comments. Check if user exists. Okay, same logic. Const user is equal to await user dot capital user dot find one with the help of email. So if user does not exist, throw the error user not found, okay, or else user does not exist kind of message. Now if the control is coming out of this if statement, that means the user exists. Compare password. So we are having a method called as the compare method in the bcrypt. So it will take both plain password and the hashed password, and based on that it will give the result to this valid password variable. So await bcrypt.compare. First parameter will be the plain password, second parameter will be the hashed password. So hashed password in the sense encrypted password, which will be stored in the Mongo DB. So we are comparing the plain password and we are comparing the hashed password. So if the valid password is true, we are going to send the response as what I can say, login successful, else invalid. Okay. So if not valid password, just throw the message invalid password, else send response success true, user logged in successfully. Okay, done. So if you are already a MERN stack developer, so you can understand we are missing something here, that is generating the JSON web token. You can see in the login we have to send the token to the client, then only the client can send the token with the other request and we can compare whether the authorization is done or not. So after comparing the password, you have to generate the token. So that is the third step here. Let's import the JWT token now. Okay, so const JWT is equal to JSON web token. So this is just for encrypting some data and getting the token, and we will send the token to the front end. This is the concept. Okay, even if you don't have any idea about the JWT, don't worry. So in the next section, which is nothing but the authorization and protected route section, I'm going to explain this very clearly. So right now just follow with me, that's all. Okay, so after compare password, create and assign a token. What we are going to encrypt? I'm going to encrypt just the user ID, that's all, not the complete user object. I will just encrypt the user ID, and that encrypted user ID will be in the form of token, and that token we will send it to the front end as the login response, that's all. Okay, const token is equal to the method to encrypt is sign, jwt.sign. First parameter will be the data that you want to encrypt, second parameter will be the secret key, because while decrypting you need some key to decrypt, that is called as the secret. So this secret key also we will have it in the .env here. Okay, JWT secret. So right now I'll use one simple secret key, that is ShayMP, which is our project title. So here also JWT secret, done. Okay, and here the data you want to encrypt, as I said we are encrypting the user ID, but I will give some good name instead of underscore ID, user ID. So we are encrypting an object, in that object you will be having the user ID key and the value will be the actual user ID. Okay, this is the data that we are encrypting in the form of JSON web token, and we are going to send the data as token, that's all. So in the registration we are not sending any data to the client, we are just sending the flag whether it is success or false. Okay, because we don't require any data after the completion of registration, but after login we need some data from the server, which is nothing but the token, because after the login the user will be navigated to the home page, and in the home page they will perform one more request like get all products. So the get all products will be executed only if you send the token from the front end. So obviously once you log in you need this token to perform other API request. Okay, so that's the process. So now you have registration and login. So let me export both. Module.exports is equal to router. Okay, now go to the server.js. Okay, so first of all I'm going to use app.use express.json to take the request body from the front end, then only we could able to destructure it. And now after creating the port, I'm going to write const users route is equal to dot slash routes slash users route. Then we need the endpoint middleware, which is nothing but the app.use slash API slash users. So the endpoint which is having these keywords slash API slash users will be navigated into this users route, and there it will check the endpoint, the exact endpoint, login and registration. So based on the endpoint name, it will execute the logic and send the response, whether it is success or error, to the client. This is the process. Done. Let's see if we get any errors. No, we don't have any errors. So in the next lecture, we are going to work on the integration of this login and registration with the client. Okay, that's all. Thank you.